Alright, so I just finished One Piece chapter 1093. It was pretty solid, so let's talk about it. So the chapter first starts off, what happened last chapter was Luffy having Kizaru in his hand, like in his giant form. Then Luffy like spin this dude around and like toss him aside like miles away. So while that's going on, Atlas, one of Vegapunk's mind clones, has the idea to go down to the lower floor to control the pacifistas now, because since Kizaru's gone now, she has like the highest authority to control them. And Dr. Vegapunk, the original, is like, let me come too, because he wants to save Bonnie, because Bonnie's down there, because she got knocked out by Kizaru last chapter. She's stuck down there too with the Marines, just surrounded, beat up. So while that's going on, Sanji and Frankie wants to also help Dr. Vegapunk too to save Bonnie. So that's happened right there. Then we cut to a bunch of Marines, now just either old or young, showing that Bonnie was in town to take care of Marines, but now she's hiding. Then we cut back to a flashback. Turns out that since Maro, like in his last breath, saved Bonnie from crashing down to the earth pretty hard, taking more damage than she already has. So while that is going on, we then cut back to Luffy asking, not Kizaru, but Zoro if he needs help going against Lucy, or Rob Lucy, whatever his name is. The leopard guy, just call pitching guy, whatever you want to call him. And Zoro's like, nah, I got this. You focus on Kizaru. This is something that captain should take care of. You know, this is like the job for me. You know, he's not in your pay grade at this point. You know what I mean? He's on my level. So Rob Lucy's like, oh, I guess the second, what is it? The number 2 of the Emperor is good enough for me or something like that. Is a good constellation prize. One of those words. He's okay with fighting Zoro. So then we see Kizaru still flying away at this point. And he's like, oh, I'm going to hit the ocean. I got to do something. So then like he shoots all these bunch of particles of light to like not hit the ocean. But then all those particles of light turn to like clones of himself. So he like made like a bunch of clones of himself to now fight Luffy. So to me, that was like a pretty cool ability. He could now like not only become the light, but then make his light become him. So that was kind of cool. That was pretty nifty. So it's actually doing like some work too. Like he landed like a good hit on Luffy. Luffy's confused, baffled, bamboozled, all that stuff, you know? So then Luffy takes out all the clones, but it turns out he wasn't there. He's actually down there in the laboratory, like choking up Usopp. So I thought that was like a pretty funny interaction. Luffy's like, oh, there you are. And him choking out Usopp, I thought was very funny. And then he's about to shoot, what's his name? Dr. Vegapunk's ship that was about to go down to save Bonnie. But then Luffy he does jump in front of the shot, hits him in the face. His like face turns onto fire or lights up. It's a very interesting shot, but like he took the hit. That was that. But then Atlas, she then goes onto the announcement pad or whatever, or announcement board. She used a loudspeaker, there we go, to tell all the pacifistas to eradicate the Marines. And that's the end of the chapter. So this chapter, actually in hindsight, was pretty fast. Like I went through it pretty fast, a very short, quick chapter. But we got to see a lot. You know, we got to see now that what Lucy's level currently is like around Zoro's tier of fighting capabilities. We also got to see that Kizaru is actually pretty strong too, like this new ability to make clones himself as well. Now I think the clones did damage to him, or was it him? I don't know. Like I don't know if he could like switch between each clone. Like there's what's his face? Like you saw there's like, I'll just say there's 60 plus clones. You could go to like one clone, then like transfer to another clone, and the other clones just like holograms. I don't know how the clones work, if they're solid clones or not. But it was still a cool ability to see how this man could like have all these clones to fight Luffy, and they actually were able to do damage to him. So that's dope. I like to see this. I'm glad to see what's gonna happen next chapter, because right now we're seeing like him and Luffy are like, I want to say pretty even. Like he's going back and forth with Luffy in his gear 5th mode. So I think that's a good feat, you know, because I think when it comes to the admirals, like there's not a lot of hype towards like people. Like I said like a couple of videos ago, they downplay the admirals. People either really like the admirals or don't like them at all, which I think is kind of bogus. Was like they're supposed to be like the head honcho of the world. They're supposed to like protect the world. They're supposed to be at least decent. The admirals at least. You know, the vice admirals are a different story, but I feel like the admirals and the fleet admiral, they're supposed to be, you know, strong people. And I feel like we're not really seeing that too often. Or they're either like getting embarrassed, or they're just, you know, not doing too much. They're very feetless, is what I'm trying to say. They're kind of feetless. I think, again, like their biggest feat right now, it wasn't even a big feat. Like, an example of this, I would say, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but it was whatever. But Green Bull, when it was first introduced, he went against Momosuke. And like that whole interaction, like he lost like the exchange, but he still didn't do much. So we can't say he's weak, but him having like, you know, to back off and leave the island, that does look too great. You know, I feel like when you show an admiral, you gotta show like how strong they are. And him like losing like a trade between, well, in most cases like a 5-year-old kid in an adult body, it doesn't look too good for the admiral. So I feel like these past few chapters, some of the admirals actually going against strong people and doing good stuff. That's good. I like that. I want more of it. Again, hopefully, with this end of this little exchange or this arc of Egghead Island, we get to see like I want Kizaru to like have like a definite win. That's what I want. Like, you know, him showing like he has like an edge over Luffy. I think that would be a good idea. That'd be cool to see. That's what I want. I don't think that's gonna happen though. I think it's gonna end like on an ambiguous note. Like it's either gonna be like, oh, who could have won this fight, you know? So they might be close to the admirals, but I still want there to be like a slight gap. You know, because like right now, when it comes to strong people left, it's the admirals, then it's the higher ups in the world government, you know, like Saturn and whatnot. I forgot what their whole group is called. What are they called? Whatever their name is, like Saturn, he's in this chapter too. Like those echelons of people. So I want to see more of them. You know, I feel like they might be like the next level of tier when it comes to strength, when it comes to the One Piece world. Because we also got to see Shank's dad too, who's like the executioner, whatever his name is. Again, I forgot. But yeah, I feel like those are gonna be like the next level of people. But before we get to that, I want to see at least the admirals do some cool stuff too, you know? So that was my little ramble about this One Piece chapter. All in all, pretty good, very quick, but you know, I had fun reading, you know? So yeah, I think that's about it for the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.